morning, everyone, and welcome back to Newswatch 6 today on this Wednesday morning. And as we promised you last half hour, we have a little surprise this morning, something a little bit different in our show.
I got a little sack came to the station yesterday.
I saw it when it came in.
And had a note attached to it, and it said, "Richard, I watch you and Christina every morning at 6 a.m. Some of the things you two say are very humorous. Note some, not all, just some. If you think back at one special morning, you will laugh at why this is being sent." And here, I'm going to cover the name. Here is what was in the, I've been told I can't say the product name, so I'll just cover it.
It's a favorite luncheon meat.
It's, you know, this is a history making, this was the first canned meat. It's the first meat ever in a can.
Oh, really? Even before corned beef?
Yeah, they made history when they made this stuff. It's a little more than 50 years old, and every year they have a sculpting contest to make sculptures out of it.
I've seen that.
Yeah. All right, anyway, directions. Open, slice, apply between two slices of bread with mayo and have a nice sandwich. Merry Christmas, and it's signed Just One Who Watches. I don't know who sent this to us. Whoever you are.
No telling.
Thank you very much. There you see it. Hey, here's the product. Look, looks good, doesn't it? And I've
already eat it already.
I've already made my I've already made the sandwich, as a matter of fact. And you want a bite?
No, thank you. I'm on one of those seasonal diets, so
Ooh, okay.
it's not a vegetable, so I can't eat it. Good? Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
By the way, it's 40 degrees.
Okay.
We're going to have a nice day.
You enjoy that sandwich, and we'll get to you on the details in a little bit.
All right. Boy, this beats post toasties any day.
Enjoy. Taking a look now at who's making national headlines.
For a Texan, they believe 49-year-old John Edwin Wallace is a serial rapist. He's been charged with 2 rapes in West Texas and is a suspect in 3 more during the past month.
People made much of this report that the recession really ended at some point last year. What do you make of that?
Well, George Bush was right all along. It is true that if you look at the numbers, the economy stopped declining in about March of last year. But normally in a recession, the economy is like a bouncing ball. When it hits bottom, it bounces right back up. This time it was more like putty. It hit bottom, it went splat, and it stayed there for a year and a half. So I don't think it means a lot to say that.
Let's talk about gifts for the new year. If the economy is picking up, what do you think about the Fed starting to push up interest rates again? Is it likely?
I don't think they're going to do that very quickly. There are no signs of inflation out there. Everything I hear from the Federal Reserve is that they're going to sit on their hands and wait for a while before doing anything. I do think there's a chance that the stronger economy will get President-elect Clinton to scale back his economic stimulus plan. Several of my colleagues and I interviewed Mr. Clinton in Little Rock last week, and he made it very clear that he doesn't want to do a deficit-widening stimulus package if he doesn't have to.
Alan, thank you. And look, you're in early enough to beat the crowds at the mall, so happy shopping.
Great. Thanks, Bob.
All right. See you. Al Roker is here. A lot of people hitting the road, Al. What are they expecting?
Well, here in the Northeast, it's going to be a brutal today. We got a big cold front you can see on the satellite pushing through, and that's going to drop some light snow here in the Northeast, but big changes in the temperatures, anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below what they were just 24 hours ago. On the Christmas Eve map, you can see some light snow in the northern plains, also in the Cascades, light snow also in the Northeast, wet weather in northern Florida. Rest of the country looks sunny, but a lot chillier than usual. Have a very nice Christmas. Bob?
Al, thanks. I hope you have one, too. You bet. All right. And finally this morning, the song says it never rains in Southern California. Well, it definitely never snows either. But youngsters in Los Angeles are enjoying a white Christmas thanks to the United Way. 25 tons of fresh white snow hauled in on Wednesday, giving hundreds of kids something to cheer about. For some, it was their first sight of snow. And that's NBC News at sunrise this Thursday morning. Ann Curry continues on maternity leave. I'm Bob Kerr. Have a very Merry Christmas. I'll see you here tomorrow.
Friday, Randy Travis, Tom Petty, Bonnie Raitt, and John Bon Jovi are making spirits bright with a Christmas gift to some very special people on NBC Nightly News.
This Christmas,
Christmas, give yourself and the one you care for something the both of you will never forget. Some good for you and the kids, too. This Christmas, become a member at Sports World in Killeen. Exercise never felt so good.
For years now, we've built Mercury Grand Marquis with the idea that it would always set the standard for its class. Now, for $93, Grand Marquis offers more room, a more fuel-efficient V8 engine, plus standard dual airbags and available anti-lock brakes. So when it comes to setting standards, we think Grand Marquis has been very successful. And apparently, we're not alone.
All this in the quality of the Mercury.
How non-Christians celebrate Christmas, tonight at 6.
This is Newswatch 6 today.
Well, good morning to you. Richard Tollison here. Christina Brown has the day off. Roscoe Harrison has the day off. Unfortunately, they have left a few segments, as we say, in the can for us this morning, so I'm not completely by my lonesome, but as you can see, the couch is empty, a la the empty chair with Tiny Tim, as the ghost of Christmas future showed Scrooge. And speaking of Christmas, this is Christmas Eve, our last day to get shopping done, and I'll tell you, if you haven't done it by now, looks like you're going to be fighting a crowd. Yesterday, the malls and shopping centers were certainly full. As I rounded up just a couple of last-minute items, I'm all done. I hope you all are, and I hope you're able to just spend some time with your family and friends and not get so caught up in the commercialism of it all that you're unable to appreciate everything else about the holiday and what it's really all about. Well, let's take a look at the weather now. And we want to wish you a little early Christmas. Merry Christmas. It is a day early, but we don't have a program tomorrow. First Baptist Church of Waco will be filling in for us. It's 41 degrees right now in Waco. Temple and Killeen both reporting 44 and 50 in the Bryan College Station area. The cold front did pass through, but didn't come in as quickly as we thought, and it didn't pack the punch that we thought that it would. So it's just one of those things. But at any rate, before we get to all the weather details for this day, it looks like a pretty good forecast. Friday night, Saturday, a little bit iffy, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. First, let's start with the news, and with that, we go to Bill Ross and Newswatch.
Firefighters battled a 6-alarm fire at a shopping mall in New Jersey Wednesday. 5 stores were destroyed. 4 people were slightly injured. The fire started in a sporting goods store and spread. The store apparently didn't have any sprinklers. Now, spectators cheered when animals from a pet store were rescued. It took 5 hours to bring the blaze under control. And even though there's fighting, many people in Sarajevo are still celebrating Christmas. Toys and ornaments are on display in parts of the city. The town's been without water, electricity, or phone service for almost 3 weeks. At least 1,700 people have died since Bosnia declared independence from Yugoslavia. I'm Bill Ross for Newswatch 6 Today.
And here are some other top stories making headlines this morning. The Clinton cabinet is set just ahead of the president-elect's self-imposed Christmas deadline. Sources say Clinton has settled on former Arizona Governor Bruce Babbitt for Interior Secretary, Mississippi Congressman Mike Espy for Agriculture Secretary, and former Denver Mayor Federico Pena for Transportation Secretary. Espy would be the 4th black in Clinton's cabinet, and Pena would be the 2nd Hispanic. The Marines are preparing to invade one of the hardest-hit towns in famine-stricken Somalia. About 1,000 Marines, complete with minesweepers, are expected to move into the town of Barders today to secure the town for food distribution. And Detroit Police Sergeant Freddie Douglas says he never gave up faith. A judge yesterday dismissed a felony charge against Douglas, a black man accused of standing by while white officers beat a black motorist to death. 3 officers will be arraigned next month, and the prosecutor in the case says he intends to appeal to reinstate the charge against Douglas. Here at home, Lott Police Chief Mark Neville has been suspended with pay pending an investigation of criminal allegations. Authorities in Falls County say a Lott woman has made accusations against the chief and his brother. David Todd has more.
Lott residents are faced with allegations against their chief of police. Last Thursday, Lott resident Florence Whitfield reported criminal allegations to the Falls County Sheriff Department. Charges that have not been disclosed, but allegations that Mark Neville says he can prove are false.
Yeah, I'm perfectly innocent, and it will come out in January, hopefully, when the grand jury meets again, and we can go back before the people of Falls County and prove to them that I'm not the person I've been accused of. And
Across from the county courthouse, Neville's patrol car sits idle. According to Sheriff Pamplin, it was impounded in case it might be needed for evidence. Statements taken from Whitfield almost a week ago have since contradicted themselves. But what hasn't changed is the hurt that the Neville family feels because of the allegations.
all these accusations, my family just doesn't know what to think. They know I'm innocent, but we get phone calls every day. People come up every day asking us questions. There's probably a dozen different rumors from everything you can imagine I've been accused of, and nobody really knows.
Charges have not been officially filed by the Falls County Grand Jury, and no arrest warrants have been issued for Neville. The grand jury will meet again to look at the case in January. David Todd, Newswatch 6, Lot.
A former Meridian police chief may be headed back to court. That after the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals sent the case back to a lower court with instructions to reconsider his appeal. Curtis McLaughlin has been convicted of aggravated sexual assault for having intercourse with a 12-year-old girl in December of 1988. The girl's testimony was allowed during the trial. The appeals court wants the lower court to review the reason the 12-year-old was allowed to testify. During the trial, she told the court she and McLaughlin had sex once or twice a week for 2 years. The appeals court says the lower court needs to apply the correct reason for allowing that testimony. A body found in Lampasas County this week is believed to be that of a 24-year-old man. The man had been missing since late October. According to investigators, the shallow grave was located in rough terrain 1 mile northeast of Adamsville. The grave was marked by a small mound of stones and a crude cross. The authorities were tipped off to the location while looking into the man's disappearance. The body has been sent to Dallas for an autopsy, so right now it's not known how the man died. Waco police and the FBI are trying to find the man who robbed the Texas National Bank Tuesday. Authorities say the man entered the bank about 5 o'clock. He handed the teller a note demanding money and got away with an undisclosed amount. The man never showed a weapon. It was the first time the bank's been robbed. Yesterday it was again business as usual.
The main thing is that no one was hurt. The robber came in, was in the bank within a few minutes. He didn't spend more than 45 seconds probably in the building and was out. Main thing is he got out without hurting anybody.
Texas National is equipped with surveillance cameras. However, pictures of the incident are not being released to the media. The suspect is a slender, white male, about 6 feet 2 inches tall. He was driving a white Honda. The McLennan County Grand Jury still hasn't taken any action in the case concerning the Waco Housing Authority. Last night's meeting was the latest in a series following allegations of discrimination and an investigation into possible criminal charges. Some Housing Authority employees and county commissioners say the authority treated both them and their clients unfairly. An assistant district attorney tells Newswatch 6 the grand jury is concerned about some of the things they heard during the previous 2 meetings. But so far, despite lengthy testimony from witnesses, the grand jury has handed down no indictments. Well, it's time to take a look at the weather now, and we're going to go to our temperatures. There we go. 41 degrees in Waco, 44 in Temple and Killeen, and it's 50 in the Bryan College Station area. Outside, we have clear skies. The humidity stands at 73%. Dew point 33 degrees. Winds are out of the north at 12 miles per hour, and the barometer is steady at 30.50 inches of mercury. Here now is the 4D satellite picture, and once again we began to see that southwestern flow of clouds, but you can see the effect of that front because things begin to clear, those clouds being pushed on out of the way, and that'll be the case for the next 36 hours or so until another frontal system arrives. But first, we're going to have a mostly sunny day up to a high of 48. Now, again, the front has come on through. It just doesn't have the punch that we thought it would pack. Winds will be northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Skies will be clear tonight, down to 33 for the overnight low with southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. And tomorrow you can expect a mostly sunny day with a high of 53 and south winds 10 to 20. Let's check out the extended forecast now, which calls for isolated light rain early for the day after Christmas, low of 30, high of 42, increasing cloudiness for Sunday, low of 32 and a high of 48, and Monday we're calling for scattered showers with a low of 42 and a high of 58. Now, there is ever the slightest possibility that this isolated light rain early Saturday, late Friday night could be in the form of some sleet, freezing rain in parts of central Texas and the hill country. We'll be keeping our eye out for that for you, and of course our evening weatherman Bruce Thomas, chief meteorologist and guru of all things weather related, will be able to have a little more information on that tonight at 6 and 10. Well, we've got a little more information. In fact, we've got a whole lot of information to go, and we'll get with it with a visit with Santa when we come back. It's 6:09 and 44 degrees.
Town West Ford's end-of-the-year closeout sale starts December 27th. The taxman is coming, and Town West Ford would rather pass the money on to you with huge discounts and no payments for 90 days. Through December 31st, save thousands on every new 92 and 93 Ford car or truck in stock, all tagged with our special closeout price. Hurry for best selection. Drive out with the best deal of the year and save thousands December 27th through 31st at Town West Ford, Highway 84 West in McGregor.
Saturday, January the 2nd at 1 o'clock, KCEN-TV's weekend movie feature is Cocoon. Don Amici, Wilfred Brimley, Jessica Tandy, and more star in the science fiction fantasy of senior citizens finding an alien fountain of youth.
I feel great. Me too. You wouldn't kid me, would you? My God, I'm telling the truth.
It's a movie the entire family will love. Cocoon, Saturday, January the 2nd at 1, right here on KCEN-TV. KCEN-TV and Riley Marketing Incorporated present the brand new updated city map of Waco with surrounding areas. Get your copy today while the supply lasts. Free maps are available from the following organizations.
Welcome back to Newswatch 6 today. This morning we have a very special guest with us. Joining us now all the way from the North Pole is Santa Claus. Good morning, Santa Claus.
Good morning, and a Merry Christmas a few days early to you.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
It's been such a good season, and we've had this nice, cool weather that it feels more like Christmas.
It sure does.
Now, we don't have much snow here in Texas yet, but the way the weather's looking, we could. Who knows?
Yeah, what time will you be arriving tomorrow night, or tonight, rather, I'm sorry, tonight in Waco Temple and Killeen?
Well, I'll be arriving after all the little boys and girls are asleep. Now, you can just bet on that. I'm not going to arrive before they get to sleep.
Okay.
No Santa Claus knows when they go to sleep.
And you don't want to tell me a certain time so they don't catch you, right?
No, but it'll be late at night, and they'll need to be asleep so that they don't, when they go to sleep, don't worry about it. Santa Claus will be there.
Okay, and
you used to have a problem like that in Houston. You didn't want to go to sleep, and your parents had more problems before I could come trying to get you. You were so nervous and hyper, you just want to see Santa Claus.
You're right.
You're just like all the rest of them. You just grew up to be prettier than most of them.
Well, thank you. Now, you know, we always leave you cookies and milk. What are really your favorite cookies?
In the Texas area, they would probably be chocolate chip, and because you have pecans here in Texas, I love pecans in cookies if they're available. Now, Mrs. Claus doesn't like for me to have all of those cookies, but she doesn't always know what we do on Christmas Eve.
Keep it
She's tired. She and my elves have really been working hard this year.
So do you have a lot of nice toys this year for
Oh,
all the
I
kids?
have a lot of great toys. I'm just amazed at what we come out with each year, the changes in toys. But there's still some old favorites, you know, that they just all still come back. They want the Barbie things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever gotten stuck in any chimneys?
Very close one time. I got down in there, and it took a lot of work to get me out, but no, it can be embarrassing.
I'll bet.
But Santa was able to wriggle out of that one.
Well, how's Rudolph and all the other reindeer?
They're great. I have so many children when I see them. Prior to Christmas, I may run into them on the street at the Christmas parade. I was here in Temple for the Christmas parade, and they want to know where Rudolph is and all that. And I go and visit a lot of them in schools. And I have to tell them, well, Rudolph and all the reindeer are back with Mrs. Claus and the elves at the North Pole. They're resting up for Christmas Eve because it's a long, long journey.
I know.
And they've got to have it. And if this weather stays the same, we're going to have to really polish up the red nose on Rudolph, because he's going to have to lead us through some foggy type weather. Maybe I hope it'll clear off down here before then.
Think the kids might be able to catch a glimpse of him tonight?
Well, they might, but it'll be awful hard.
Okay. I know I always look forward to that when I was a little kid.
Seeing Rudolph.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, all the rest of them around there, the only difference between Rudolph and the rest of my reindeer is he has a red nose, and he has to lead us out, especially in the bad weather.
Do you really leave cinder and rocks to little kids who've been naughty?
That's my secret.
I always wondered about that. Somehow I've
Well, you
always
were close
managed...
a couple of times. I remember that.
Oh, you knew that, huh?
Switches.
Never got any, though.
No,
That was
but
awfully nice of
it was just right the last moment. I got the word that you didn't need to bring it to you.
Okay, well, you have a safe journey tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me come down here and visit with you and all the boys and girls in Central Texas. They're great children, and I really enjoy being Santa Claus with them down here.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, dear.
Right now, it's time to join Roscoe Harrison on Business Watch.
Good morning. We have Hugh Shine with us, Dean Witter. Hugh, it looks like consumers really feel good this holiday season because it's indicative of the fact that retail sales are up. What do you attribute this to? What do you attribute this attitude change to?
Well, Roscoe, I think it's probably twofold in some ways. I think one of the reasons for the increased retail sales is the fact that for the past few years, consumers have been cutting back on spending. They've been trying to cut out their credit card debt. They've been trying to reduce some of the costs that they have of maintaining their households. And suddenly we've gotten to the point where they've done it for so long that they feel like they need to break out of that mode and spend a little money. And obviously when you spend a little money, it psychologically helps you feel a little bit better. And plus, we do have a change in administration. Whether there is real change or not, there is the perception of change, and that is making people feel good, too.
Another thing is that we see, though, the economy still rather unwieldy. We see good figures coming out, and then all of a sudden we see some pockets of weakness.
Well, those pockets of weakness will probably be around with us for a little while, but I think the economy overall is going to continue to improve. We still have recessions with our trade partners in Europe and in the Far East, and those problems are problems that we're trying to work around, but they still have some effects on us, particularly on our exports. So businesses are going to face some continued problems with trade relations. But I think overall you'll see the economy of the United States continue to improve, but continue in a very slow state.
Well, the retail sector seems to be reacting to the good news that we've been hearing, though, first.
Well, they started reacting back in September. There was anticipation then that retail sales for Christmas were going to increase, and they have. We've seen a little more surgence here toward Christmas. Retailers have also discounted a little bit here before the holiday has actually arrived, allowing consumers to get a little bit better bargain, and has actually drawn people to the shopping malls and centers to spend a little bit more money, which has kind of just added to the continued excitement that's going on. And I think the retail sector is going to show some marked improvement.
When you talk more about the retail, it's interesting to me that this not too long ago, in fact earlier this week, I was reading in the Austin paper where Austin, San Antonio area was leading the state as far as retail sales were concerned this Christmas season.
And Roscoe, I think Austin and San Antonio's economies are two economies that stand the most to gain in the next few years with the North American Free Trade Agreement. San Antonio because of strong Hispanic influence and the relationships with Mexico, and Austin because it is the capital city. It is the hub of commerce, so to speak, from a governmental standpoint. And those relationships, I believe, are bringing people into and taking some of our people and some of our capital out and establishing some very strong relationships. I think those two communities are going to do very well in the 90s.
Okay, sure thing. Thanks very much.
You bet.
That's our time for now.
It's now 6:18 and 42 degrees. Now it's time to check in with sports. Here's Chris Masseau.
Good morning, everybody. This story is intended for you who think that Temple is a one-sport high school. Well, think again. The Temple High basketball team is #1 in the state this week, undefeated at 15-0, and also #1 in the whole Southwest. Now, sometimes when you're ranked so high, you become afraid that you're peaking too early. But that's not what Wildcats coach Harry Miller thinks.
Certainly I would be concerned if I thought we were playing the best we could at this point, and it is awful difficult to maintain high standards throughout when you talk about a 35-game season, that can present a special challenge to you. But we feel like we've got a lot of room for improvement. Our bench needs to come on, and we can get them more playing time. Our guards need to mature a little more, and certainly our inside play can come along. And so there's lots of room for improvement.
Okay, the Cats are off now for the holidays, and will resume on the 28th in the MT Rice Tournament. And that's it for this half hour. We'll see you again in 30 minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. We've got to take a break now. Round up all the rodeo fans in your household. Dan Willis has something special on Ag Watch. When we come back, it's 6:19, 42 degrees.
Fertilome is a great selection of products for your fall and winter lawn and garden problems. Try Frostproof on your plants to reduce frost damage and increase fruit and vegetable size and quality. Fertilome root stimulator is a must for new plants and transplants both indoor and out for deep green foliage and larger blooms and fruit. Use every time you water in Fertilome's handy insecticide and fertilizer sprayer. It dilutes as it sprays, eliminating costly waste. Eliminate pests on houseplants by spraying with white fly and mealybug spray. Get Fertilome at your local independent garden centers and hardware stores. Lampasas Cattle Auction invites you to their big annual replacement cow and heifer sale, January the 2nd at 12 noon. We have one of the best selection of replacement cows and heifers available. There's Brangus, Tiger Stripes, Beefmasters, Black Baldies, all the English breeds, exotics, and Charolais will be featured. Whether you need pairs, bred cows, bred or open heifers, or bulls. They'll be at Lampasas Cattle Auction, Lampasas, Texas, January the 2nd, 12 noon. Call 512-556-3611. Ag Watch is at the heart of Texas Coliseum this morning. Charlie Throckmorton on my right, Bernie Johnson on my left. Two guys are going to be very busy here beginning New Year's Eve, big event in town. Charlie, tell us about it.
Well, Dan, we're talking about probably one of the greatest rodeos in the world. The Dodge Pro Rodeo Texas Circuit Finals features the top 15 contestants in each of rodeo's major events for the year. It culminates the year of the PRCA rodeo in the state of Texas. We're looking at $100,000 in rodeo prize money. Ty Murray, Tuff Hedeman, Jim Sharp,
Who's
Roy
who of the
Cooper,
rodeos?
the who's who. Over 40 national finalists and 12 world champions each performance of the rodeo.
Bernice is going to be a busy man. Bernice, you are the stock contractor for the deal. Is that right?
Right. I guess they call me the ex-producer, I guess.
You're producing with everybody else's stock.
Yeah, I've got 7 stock contractors here and myself producing this rodeo. And the Cowboys go out and select the top stock of these 7 producers, 8 producers, count myself. And a lot of these stock has just come from the national finals. Be the toughs of the world here.
I think that if I was going to produce a rodeo, this would be the greatest time in the world. Where would you ever put together such a band of stock as they'll have here and get to put on a rodeo with that? I know it's hard to go buy enough with your own money to where you don't have some where you wished you had better stock. But
Well,
here you
definitely
can pick what
yeah.
you want.
You really got the tops of each guy here, and you know, you don't always get what you want at the National Finals Rodeo because the Cowboys may not like to get on this animal or not, but you got a little better chance here in Texas of these guys in Texas of selecting each stock. I think they're taking probably some ranker stock here than they took to the finals.
I'm going to say something for the seating. This is a better place to have it than the National Finals. I just got back from the National Finals, saw you out there, and if we'd been any higher, we'd had to have oxygen. That building is straight up and a little bitty arena in the bottom.
Well,
This is a good place.
I think here, Dan, this is kind of centrally located in Texas. Great place to have a rodeo. The Coliseum, there's not a bad seat in it. The holding pens for the livestock, in the past where we've had to have our livestock, we've had to truck them in and out. If we hit bad weather, we've been in trouble. And here, they're right back here behind. You can come by and look at the livestock, the bulls and horses. And it's going to be a great rodeo.
And those tickets are on sale right now, is that right?
They're on sale at Kestner's, is it? Western Store?
Kestner's, you bet.
Kestner's Western Store, the Phoenix Stations, the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
Has got tickets there. We also have the combination with a rodeo ticket and a dance ticket New Year's Eve night, and you get 50% off now if you buy them in advance.
Let's talk about that dance. We've got
Guess who's playing?
Hawkeye Monty.
Monty Hawkeye Henson and his band. Well, we're going to be doing some boot scooting. We're going to have some fun.
And hey, Monty sings good for a cowboy.
Well, we may even get Dan Willis up there, too.
I doubt if you'll get
The oldest living rookie of the year.
But, Bern, this is an event that we are fortunate to have in Waco.
I feel like, Dan, that the city of Waco and the Heart of Texas Fair is real impressed with what we're bringing here. It's going to bring a lot of dollars. The hotel and motels are going to fill up. The restaurants are going to do good. The gas stations. We're going to leave some dollars here in Waco.
The one who's going to benefit the most is you, because they've moved the national finals so far from us now. This is everybody's opportunity to come and see the national finals in Waco, Texas, is what it amounts to.
That's right.
40 national finalists.
Over
will be
40
here.
each night.
So much of the stock.
12
we're
world
just
champions each night.
Right, just getting back from Las Vegas with the stock, and it's all going to be in Waco.
We're hoping, Dan, to make this a home of our Texas Circuit Finals because it's centrally located. We're getting people from New York. We're getting calls every day for tickets from Florida, New York. I don't know. They're coming here for Christmas, I guess, and they're going to be here in the city of Waco, and I think we're going to give an event to them that they'll come back to.
Saturday morning, tune in at 6:30, the Big Six Farm and Ranch, and Bernice is going to be our guest, and we're going to talk about the Bernice Johnson Cowboy stock contractor. Probably wrote his name bigger than anybody in Texas. Merry Christmas to everybody from Ag Watch.
Good morning, Central Texas. Hi, I'm Gerald Bolton from Gerald Bolton Chevrolet in West. We're featuring a great selection of 2- and 4-wheel drive pickups. We now have the 6.5-liter diesel pickup available in the regular cab and the extended cab versions. You need to come and try this new extended cab truck out with the 6.5 diesel. You'll really be impressed with it. Come to Gerald Bolton Chevrolet in West. Drive a little, save a lot.
625, 42 degrees in the heart of Texas. Good morning again, everybody. So glad you could be with us on this Christmas Eve. And let's start out this time around by looking at the ag weather. 7 to 9 hours of sunshine today. So it's going to be a fairly pretty day. Just a tad on the cool side, but not as cold as we thought it would have been. No dew today or tomorrow. High drying potential both today and tomorrow. And we're not expecting any rainfall until at least late Friday night. Minimum relative humidity, 25%. Well, here is the infrared satellite picture. Again, that constant southwestern to northeastern flow of clouds over the Lone Star State now being halted, being interrupted by that frontal system pushing on through. Going to push those clouds out of the way, and we're set for a nice one today. National radar shows us not much happening in the state of Texas. A few showers down along the Texas Gulf Coast, extreme southern part of the state, and out in the Big Bend area. Let's now take a look at our forecast for today, which calls for a mostly sunny day with a high of 48 degrees. Winds will be northeast 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll shift out of the east and die down just a bit by this afternoon. Now, tonight, skies will be clear down to 33 for the overnight low. Winds will be southeast 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then tomorrow, a few more clouds drifting into the picture. High tomorrow, 53 with south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Let's look in on that extended forecast now. There's the day after Christmas. A chance of isolated light rain showers early. Low of 30, high of 42. And again, that day, early that morning, we're right on the edge. Might see some frozen precip. We'll keep our eye on it for you. Increasing cloudiness for Sunday with a low of 32 and a high of 48. And scattered showers on Monday down to 42 for the overnight low, going up to a high of 58 degrees. And that's a look at your weather on this Christmas Eve morning. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll update you on the news and the weather again a couple of times, just in case you're just opening your eyes and trying to remember what I just said. We'll have it for you, so have another cup of joe and hang around. And later on, we're going to take a look at a controversial movie that's opening up. It's another one of those controversies over whether it gets an R or an NC-17. And we're going to show you a man who's taking some pretty desperate measures to get a woman in his life by Christmas. And he's running out of time. It's 6:28 now and 42 degrees. Stick around. We'll be right back.
For 11 years, Jim Tranum has been known as the service leader, both in mechanical and body repair. We are also known as a sales leader because of prices like a 1993 Volkswagen Fox for $89.95 or $129 per month. That's right, a 1993 Volkswagen Fox with air conditioning, stereo, cassette, and more for only $129 a month. But this is only at Jim Tranum, your sales and service leader in Central Texas. Jim Tranum, we trade while others talk.
The best name in hunting rifles and handguns is Browning, and the best name in gun shops in Central Texas is Brock's Gun Shop in Copper's Cove. The Browning bolt-action stainless stalker is ideal for the hill country hunter working in the rough. The graphite fiberglass stock resists nicks and scratches and holds its zero from season to season. Texans like saddle guns, and Browning's Model 81 lever action is the best ever. The trigger travels with the lever for more effective follow-up shots. No matter what your taste in sports shooting, Browning and Brock's are names to remember. Brock's Gun Shop, Copperas Cove.
This couple is dressed properly for the pool, but not for the motorcycle. For sunning, lotion protects the skin from the sun. For cycling, helmets, gloves, and other protective clothing protect the skin. Get burned from the sun with no protection, and you'll probably be okay in a few days. But get burned on a motorcycle with no protection, and you may never be okay. Play it safe. Enjoy cycling. Use the proper safety equipment.
Well, good morning to you. It's 6:30, 42 degrees in the heart of Texas. I'm Richard Tollison, and no, we haven't had a labor dispute or anything. Everybody's just got the day off, except for me, holding down the fort for Christina Brown, who is off. Roscoe Harrison is off, and we'll be looking forward to seeing their faces on Monday. Now, you say, what about tomorrow? Well, we're going to have a special show tomorrow. First Baptist Church is going to of Waco will have a service broadcast tomorrow morning at 6. It's our another one of our Christmas presents to you, and the Christmas present to us is that therefore we'll get the day off. Pretty clever, eh? At any rate, we've got a pretty interesting half hour, if I do say so myself. We're going to be taking a look at a movie. The director is Candace Bergen. You know, Murphy Brown, the director, is her husband, and he's sort of peeved about the whole thing. The ratings board wants to give it an NC-17, and he's had to make some cuts in the movie that he feels are all wrong to make it an R. We'll be taking a look at that. We'll also be showing you a man who is trying to get a woman in his life by Christmas, and he's taken some pretty desperate measures to get there, and so we'll be looking into that. But first, of course, we have the news and the weather and a lot of other stuff, so let's get right to it. Here are the stories making top news this morning. Sources say President-elect Clinton has decided to make Connecticut lawyer Zoe Baird the nation's first female attorney general. He's also expected to fill the rest of his cabinet vacancies today. Back in Texas, in Comanche, Navy investigators remain today at the scene of an F-14 crash that killed one person. Military officials say the pilot of the training mission from Dallas Naval Air Station safely ejected. And authorities are looking today for two men who fatally shot one person and terrorized his family in San Antonio. Law officers say the assailants kicked in the door of a home, killed one man, and threatened his wife and two children as they searched for jewelry. Closer to home, a body believed to be that of a 24-year-old man missing since October has been found. According to investigators, the shallow grave was located in rough terrain 1 mile northeast of Adamsville. The grave was marked by a small mound of stones and a crude cross. The authorities were tipped off to the location while looking into the man's disappearance. The body has been sent to Dallas for an autopsy, so right now it's not known how the man died. Waco police and the FBI are trying to find the man who robbed the Texas National Bank yesterday. Authorities say the man entered the bank about 5 o'clock. He handed the teller a note demanding money and got away with an undisclosed amount. The man never showed a weapon. It was the first time the bank's been robbed. Yesterday, it was again business as usual.
The main thing is that no one was hurt. The robber came in, was in the bank within a few minutes. He didn't spend more than 45 seconds probably in the building and was out. Main thing is he got out without hurting anybody.
Texas National is equipped with surveillance cameras, but pictures of the incident are not being released. The suspect is a slender white male, about 6 feet 2 inches tall. He was driving a white Honda. The police chief in Lott, Mark Neville, has been suspended with pay. Falls County grand jury is investigating statements taken from Lott resident Florence Whitfield. Sheriff Larry Pamplin says he thinks Whitfield contradicts herself in the statements, but as a precautionary measure, Neville's patrol car has been impounded in case it's needed for evidence. Neville says he's anxious to clear his name. Falls County grand jury has recessed for the year. The case will be heard in January. And in Meridian, a former Meridian police chief may be headed back to court. That after the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals sent the case back to a lower court with instructions to reconsider his appeal. Curtis McLaughlin has been convicted of aggravated sexual assault for having intercourse with a 12-year-old girl in December of 1988. The girl's testimony was allowed during the trial. The appeals court wants the lower court to review the reason the 12-year-old girl was allowed to testify. During the trial, she told the court she and McLaughlin had sex once or twice a week for 2 years. The appeals court says the lower court needs to apply the correct reason for allowing the testimony. The McLennan County grand jury still hasn't taken any action in the case concerning the Waco Housing Authority. Last night's meeting of the grand jury was the latest in a series following allegations of discrimination and an investigation into possible criminal charges. Some housing authority employees and county commissioners say the authority treated both them and their clients unfairly. An assistant district attorney tells Newswatch 6 the grand jury is concerned about some of the things they heard during the previous 2 meetings, but so far, despite lengthy testimony from witnesses, the grand jury has handed down no indictments. Walmart is responding to allegations made earlier this week on the news magazine Dateline NBC with an apology to customers. Walmart is known for its claim that it buys American products whenever possible. The show made allegations that Walmart is actually importing private label clothes made in Bangladesh. Reporter Brian Ross says child labor is used to manufacture these goods. Walmart stock went down Monday and Tuesday before the show even aired.
On Tuesday. I don't think that those drops were bad drops. I just think that those were drops in price in anticipation of what was going to be said. There was a lot of anxiety.
Yesterday, the stock rebounded. Don Schenkel of the Walmart Corporation has issued a formal apology stating that the company never intended to deceive anyone. The statement says measures are being taken to keep it from happening again. Well, it's time for the weather to happen again, so let's head on over to the weather maps as we tell you it's 42 degrees right now in the heart of Texas, and it's 6:35. Now, there's a phone number. We want you to call that if you have questions about the weather anywhere outside Central Texas. As I already mentioned, darn near everybody that works around here is taking off today, the lazy louts. And so I, Richard Tollison, am guiding you through the news and weather today, and I don't have time to talk to you on the phone. But Willard does, because Willard is like Santa. He's everywhere. So please call him if you want to know what the weather's going to be like wherever you're going. 1-900-WILLARD is the number. Each call costs 95 cents a minute, and if you're under 18, you will be beaten severely if you call without your parents' permission. And you need to know the area code where you're going. Just punch that in, and they'll tell you. So, for instance, if you're going to Austin, that's, 512, you'd punch in 512, and they'll tell you the weather there. All right, we're going to tell you the weather here. It's absolutely free. And there you see clouds moving across. A frontal system pushing through is going to clear all that out of the way. We're already reporting clear skies in Waco this morning, and you can see the effects where that front has been. It hasn't passed down here yet. 56 in San Antonio, 65 in Brownsville. Meanwhile, we've got 33 in Abilene, 37 Dallas, 21 in Amarillo. All right, now let's check out the forecast for right here in the heart of Texas. If you're not going home for the holidays, or if this is home for the holidays, it'll be mostly sunny today for you with a high of 48. Winds will be northeast 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now tonight, skies will be clear, so Santa will be able to see his way as he flies through Central Texas, delivering toys to all the good girls and boys. A low of 33 tonight with southeast winds 10 to 15. And tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, high of 53 with south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. And the day after Christmas looks like we might have some rain, and there's even an outside chance some of it might be in the frozen state. No, we're not talking about the frozen state of Alaska. We're talking about perhaps sleet or freezing rain. Low of 30, high of 42. You can see it won't stick. Temperature's just going to be too warm. Increasing cloudiness for Sunday with a low of 32 and a high of 48, and scattered showers on Monday, getting down to 42 for the low and 58 for the high. And so that's how things are shaping up weather-wise. Well, now it's time to find out how things are shaping up sports-wise. A lot of sports activity. Only one man can tell us what's going on. That man with a sports mission this morning is Chris Masseau, and we'll go to him now as we tell you that it is 6:38 and 42 degrees.
Good morning again, everybody. Last half hour, we talked about high school basketball. Now let's talk about pro football and the Pro Bowl. The NFL announced its Pro Bowl lineup yesterday. 6 Cowboys are winners. Running back Emmitt Smith, tight end Jay Novacek will start for the NFC team. Quarterback Troy Aikman, receiver Michael Irvin will serve as backups, as will offensive lineman Nate Newton and Mark Stepnoski. But nobody's going on defense, which doesn't make much sense. since the Cowboys do have the top-ranked defense for much of the season.
Like I said, we're happy for the guys that made on offense. We're real happy about that. But, we'd be kidding ourselves if we said there wasn't a little bit of more something we like, as far as somebody representing us on defense. Maybe a trainer or something, I don't know.
Okay, no trainers going for the Oilers, but they got a whole bunch of players going. Haywood Jeffries, Mike Munchak, Bruce Matthews, and Al Smith will all start in the Pro Bowl for the AFC. Quarterback Warren Moon, Curtis Duncan, and Ernest Given to our receivers. Running back Lorenzo White and defensive lineman Ray Childress will serve as backups. And that's it for this half hour. We'll see you tonight at 6 and 10, and have a Merry Christmas.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. I'm glad somebody's working tonight. Glad to know we're going to have somebody hanging around here. 6:39, and we're always open, really we are. 6:39, 42 degrees. And when we come back, we're going to have Newswatch 6 for Kids. We're also going to be telling you about some troubled times for what used to be the nation's largest retailer. They're not anymore. And I keep teasing this story. We're going to have it. I'm going to tell you about that man. He wants a woman. And if you're a woman, we're going to tell you how you can hook up with this man. Our own video date for Christmas Eve, all coming up ahead. Stay with us. It's 42 degrees at 6:40.
Town West Ford's end-of-the-year closeout sale starts December 27th. The taxman is coming, and Town West Ford would rather pass the money on to you with huge discounts and no payments for 90 days. Through December 31st, save thousands on every new 92 and 93 Ford car or truck in stock, all tagged with our special closeout price. Hurry for best selection. Drive out with the best deal of the year and save thousands December 27th through 31st at Town West Ford, Highway 84 West in McGregor.
Every Saturday and Wednesday at 9:59 p.m., live from Austin, KCEN-TV brings you the Lotto Texas drawing. Play along live right here on KCEN-TV.
On the next heat of the night.
Okay, let's have it. The condemned prisoner wants to see you before he goes.
Gillespie takes an unexpected trip upstate to the pen.
Why me?
He said he'd tell you. To a man he helped put on death row.
Thought maybe you could be with me when they send me off.
It's a request that will change his life forever.
You really hate this thing, don't you? It's probably the worst thing people do.
In the heat of the night.
Weekdays at 3, right here on KCEN-TV. I'm a wheel watcher.
Care to solve the puzzle?
I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. America's game. Monday through Saturday at 6:30, right here on KCEN-TV.
It's now 6:42 and 42 degrees. In business, although holiday sales are up this holiday season, Sears Roebuck & Company is scaling back its operations. Jeff Lachey takes a look at the troubled retailer.
Stores may be fewer and farther between in 1993. The Chicago Tribune, citing unidentified sources in the company, says the century-old retail giant will shut down as many as 100 of its smaller stores and cut 5,000 jobs from its payroll. Sears isn't denying the Chicago Tribune's report, but says it's sticking to a policy of not commenting on what the company calls rumors and speculation. Analysts, however, say the report is probably true.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's an extension of the cost-cutting efforts of Sears Roebuck. I think it makes sense to close the smallest 100 that are losers.
Those closings would reportedly occur among the 450 or so small and medium-sized stores. The largest 400 stores, accounting for the vast majority of revenues, would be unaffected by the cuts. Sears would also shrink its money-losing catalog business to concentrate on small specialty issues.
Sears has not had basic overall growth for a long time, and they must use their capital and effort and man-hours more efficiently.
Indeed, Sears has already cut 48,000 jobs since 1990 and plans to shed more than $3 billion in debt by selling off the Dean Witter Financial Group, most of its Coldwell Banker residential services business, and 20% of its Allstate Insurance Group. The company recorded an $834 million loss in the third quarter, its first quarterly loss since 1933. and the once premier retailer continues to trail behind the Walmart and Kmart chains in the battle for market share. Jeff Lachey, CNBC, Chicago.
Checking the financial markets, the dollar was up against the Japanese yen in Thursday's trading on the Tokyo Foreign Exchange Market, closing at 123.67 yen. That's up 0.54 yen from Tuesday's close. The market was closed Wednesday for a Japanese national holiday. And the price of gold in London opened this morning at $332.95 an ounce. That's down 40 cents from Wednesday's close. And Roscoe Harrison, our business editor, has the day off. Well, now it's time for something just for the kids. That's right, Newswatch 6 for kids, and let's go to Patricia Musburger for that.
Have you told Santa what you want for Christmas yet? Well, kids at Waco's Richland Mall have been visiting Santa all month. They want everything from dolls to Nintendo.
Baby doll.
Baby doll, all right.
Baby doll.
You want a baby doll too, sweetheart? Okay.
Now, if you haven't talked to Santa yet, you still have time to get your orders in. Old St. Nick will be at the mall until 5 o'clock Thursday night. And we've got some more orders for Old St.
That's
Nick.
right. We've got some very nice orders. Let's first take a look at some of the names of the children that have been writing in. And with their Christmas wish list, Jennifer from Caldwell and Gregory Weiss from Fort Hood. Now, Patricia, you want to start with Jennifer's
I like
list?
Jennifer's
Jennifer's
list.
list
This is my favorite.
It's funny because it's kind of different than what you would think.
Yeah, because usually you say, all I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. She wants her two
bottom
bottom teeth.
That's right.
And she also wants rollerblades, a Nintendo game, Super Nintendo, a convertible car, and she wants a real convertible car, not a fake one, a
Sounds
real
like
one.
you, Patricia.
That's hey, I agree with you.
Okay.
Anyway, and most of all, she wants snow, but it looks like she might not get that.
She's going to get cold air. You have to pour
Well,
water
at
out.
least it'll feel like
Take your
Christmas.
sprinkler and spray it in the air.
There you
and
go.
maybe you'll get
That'll
snow.
make
Now, I
sense.
have another letter now from Gregory Weiss. And Gregory wants a Gladiators, Gladiator.
Yeah, they're probably little dolls. Or,
Yeah, Gladiator fighters, I'm
Right.
sure. A G.I. Joe. Now, those were back when I was a
I
kid.
know.
They were G.I. Joes. I remember that. Crash dummies. Now, I'm not sure what a crash
I think
dummy
those
is.
are like the ones that you see on the commercial, you know, when they crash in the car and
Right.
they tell you to always wear your seatbelts. I
Those
think
are-
that's...
Is that something? That's something new. Well,
So.
we're out of touch.
I can tell.
Neither
We're in
one of
big
us have
trouble.
children. So
I know. Well,
Yeah.
we'll try to get through
Maybe
this.
that'll change. Okay. Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
I want
check
a
out
cowboy hat.
a remote-controlled car. Now, those are nice. You can buy those.
Those are really
Well, they
nice.
have come down in price. When I was a kid, a remote-controlled car was about $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're now maybe $59 or $69
Wow,
bucks.
that's
They've
okay.
come down a lot. A Game Boy.
Yeah, everybody wants one of those.
Okay. Operation.
I think that's a game.
That's a game.
Yeah,
Operation.
I played that.
Tin Can Alley.
I don't
Tin
know what
Can
that is.
Alley. Legos.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants motorcycles. Doesn't matter.
Real ones, fake ones?
Motorcycles. Gregory Weiss. Now, he's only 5 years old, so I
Okay, so
guess
probably
it would probably be a
little.
play.
Sure.
Now, I've got a couple more that came in late this afternoon. We've gotten 2 more, Patricia. I'll give you one, and I'll
Okay.
take one to read. Let's let
Okay.
you read yours first.
Looks like Corey Nasso from Rosebud, Texas, and Corey wants a claw truck, a computer robot, some swords, and he says, love Corey, and it says, I'm 5 years old, and I will be in kindergarten next year at Rosebud Primary School.
Okay, well, Corey wants a claw truck. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what that is either.
Is that one of those?
Probably the ones that
Dump
do,
like a,
don't you think?
yeah, filled up a truck.
I
Makes
think
sense.
that's probably it.
Probably so. Okay, I've got one more Christmas list that came in today, and this is from, can you read that name? Cangelia?
I think that's what it
Cangelia.
is, yeah.
Scotty Cangelia, 7
From
years
Temple?
old, from Temple, a student at Western Hills Elementary, and she's in, or Scotty's, he's in Mrs. Strand's class, okay? So all of his friends in 2nd grade will know that. He wants a domino rally. Domino rally, a skateboard.
Can you play dominoes?
I love playing
Do you?
42. I played
Okay.
42. I learned that down in Texas.
I don't know
A&M.
how to play.
We'll teach you how to play
Okay,
42.
all right,
That's
got a
a
deal.
fun game.
Okay.
It's kind of like spades. A skateboard, a Hall of Fame collection. Is that like sports cards?
I think so.
Sports cards, yeah, I think.
Or they do have some little dolls now that have the Hall of Fame players, and they look like little awards. They're kind of neat.
I bet that's
I've seen
it. I
those.
bet that's it.
I've
And
seen
also a Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
That must be a Nintendo game.
I-
That's what that sounds
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now,
like.
that's
You know,
pretty
I went to
specific.
Toys R Us last weekend, and I had more fun. I tell you what, that's where I learned where some of this stuff is, because I went up and down the aisles and played. I had more fun in there, I think, than the kids do.
You know, I have never been in one of those toy stores.
You never have?
No,
Oh,
I never have. I
missing
need
out.
to get
You
in
gotta
there.
go.
Well, I guess I like all these expensive
I played the computer
toys like
games.
lawnmowers.
That's probably true, too. That's probably
But
true.
thanks, kids, for writing in.
That's right.
We've got a few more coming in. If we get them, we'll read them tomorrow for you right here on Newswatch.
That's right. And we hope all your dreams come true this Christmas. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Agreed. Not a pretty thing at all, is it? Well, today on Newswatch 6 for Kids, we've got something very special. News Director Catherine Peoples will be here to read a very special version of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Well, let's turn now to entertainment news. Since its inception, the restrictive NC-17 rating, which falls somewhere between an R and an X, has been dreaded by filmmakers. Many theater chains won't show NC-17 films, which drastically cuts the movie's ability to make money. Director Louis Malle, who's married to Candice Bergen, has been the center of controversy this fall with his steamy new film, Damage, starring Jeremy Irons. As Lynn Blades reports, it's been quite a year for Malle and Bergen.
In the new film Damage, a story of obsessive love, Jeremy Irons and Juliette Binoche spend a fair amount of time wearing next to nothing.
A lot of the time I'm wearing some quite nice clothes, actually. But it's an integral part of this story that for some of the time they must be naked.
The reputation of the film has preceded its release. Since fall, it's been mired in controversy with the ratings board due to explicit sex scenes. It was originally granted an NC-17 rating, just a step below an X, and considered the kiss of death by studios because many theaters won't show it.
I'm a little bit sorry because I think it'll make people think it's a sort of soft pornography, which it isn't. It's a study of erotic obsession.
Irons plays a respected member of British Parliament who is happily married until he meets his son's girlfriend, Anna. Their illicit romance leads to obsession and eventually ruins the lives of nearly everyone in the film, leaving them all damaged.
Remember, damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive.
I think that she lost the most precious thing in her life, which is Aston, her brother. And I think that she's free because she has nothing to lose anymore.
The sad story, based upon Josephine Hart's best-selling novel, is disturbing to watch, and that's the way director Louis Malle wants it.
I like to disturb. It has a very strong effect on you. It shakes you, and but I think it's good. I like that.
The ability to disturb seems to be a family trait for Malle, who is married to Candice Bergen, the center of 1992's Murphy Brown controversy over family values.
Well, yes, it seems to be a little bit in the family. I think for Murphy Brown, though, it has been great because Dan Quayle has made a fool of himself, and by doing so, he's sort of promoted the show. I could have done without my own problems, frankly.
Malle's ratings problem is partially solved. After making a small cut, Damage won an R rating, but he promises the cut makes the film no less disturbing. I'm Lynn Blades, reporting.
Malle says he's still mad that he was forced to make a cut to get the R rating. What did he cut out? Well, you can see for yourself soon. The film will be released next month. Damage, after cuts, naturally, is rated R. Well, we've got to cut out of here for just a moment, and when we come back, that lonely guy looking for some lucky girl. We'll have that in just a moment. It's 6:52. Temperatures falling to 40 degrees. Stay with us.
Due to our continued commitment to service excellence and customer satisfaction, John McLaren Chevrolet in Geo and McGregor has completed our 4th straight record-setting year. New 93 models are arriving daily at John McLaren Chevrolet. We continue to offer the best price and highest trade-in allowance possible on all our quality Chevrolet and Geo products. Take a short drive to John McLaren Chevrolet on Highway 84 East in McGregor. See why we continue to be a leader in sales and service in Central Texas.
I'm Bill Ross.
And I'm Patricia Newsberger.
At this family time of year, we have something very special for you.
On Christmas night, December 25th, we're planning a special edition of our 6 o'clock news.
That night, the Newswatch 16 will report the good news about Central Texas. We'll cover any breaking news, but our main focus will be the positive stories in our area.
It's our Christmas present to you, a night of good news, Christmas night at 6 on Newswatch 6.
For years now, we've built Mercury Grand Marquis with the idea that it would always set the standard for its class. Now, for $93, Grand Marquis offers more room, a more fuel-efficient V8 engine, plus standard dual airbags and available anti-lock brakes. So when it comes to setting standards, we think Grand Marquis has been very successful. And apparently, we're not alone.
Oh, it's the quality of the Mercury.
Good morning again, everybody. It's now 40 degrees in the heart of Texas, and it's 6:54. Well, let's take a look at the record book. Yesterday, we hit a high of 65 degrees after an overnight low of 50. Now, normally, we'd have a high temperature of 59 and a low of 37, so we're well above the normal temperatures. And there you see the records. It's gotten as warm as 91 on this date, as cool as 12 degrees. The sun will come up at 7:26. That's the time of our next news cut-in into the Today Show, and will set this afternoon at 5:32 during NBC Nightly News. Well, here is the current map. And there's one front, and there's two fronts, and they're both passing us by, and behind it will be cooler, drier air. By tomorrow, however, there's a chance by late tomorrow that there could be some precipitation activity. Don't count on it during the day for Christmas, but later on during the evening, particularly late at night, early Saturday morning. Here's the Saturday forecast, though. The rain will quickly move out, and behind it will clear out once again to have a cool and dry weekend. So the forecast for right now calls for mostly sunny skies for today, high of 48, northeast winds 10 to 15. Those winds will die down just a bit, shift strictly out of the east late this afternoon. Clear skies tonight with a low of 33, southeast winds 10 to 15. And tomorrow, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 53 and south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Let's look at the extended forecast now. Saturday, we're expecting isolated light rain early. Again, a little bit of a chance of freezing rain or sleet, but the chances aren't actually that great. Just want to let you know, if it happens, you heard it here first. Low of 30, high of 42. Then, Sunday, expect increasing cloudiness with a low of freezing and a high of 48. And scattered showers for Monday, low of 42, high of 58. Well, now it's time to find out about this poor fellow we've been talking about all morning. Everyone has someone in their family who is really hard to buy for at Christmas time. The chances are no one in your family would be as tough as one man in Glenburn, Maine. He has a rather unusual request for Santa this year, and his list is exposed for all the world to see. Janet Smith explains.
As you drive by David Moore's house on Route 222 in Glenburn, it doesn't take long to figure out what he wants for Christmas. Moore says he's just ended a 10-year relationship with a woman, and he wants to share his life with someone else. Moore says he doesn't go to bars, social events, or church functions. He says the sign is his way of advertising himself.
I don't drink, don't smoke, go to work every day, have a job. These values of 30 years ago that would have you a woman in that time don't count anymore. Society has changed so much that these qualities are no good anymore. There's got to be a woman out there that wants this stuff.
Moore says he's had his sign up for nearly a month. He's received about 20 phone calls.
David Moore says he's not only received a number of phone calls, but he also has seen a number of people stopping or driving by slowly to jot his phone number down. You got any dates on it as yet?
No. I tried, but no. I'm looking for the right woman.
Moore says he's looking for someone who's a homebody, likes to travel, is caring, faithful, and honest. He says he hopes to hook up with someone soon so he can share the holidays with them. In Glenburn, Maine, I'm Janet Smith for NBC News.
Okay, ladies, I don't know the area code there. You're on your own there, but we had that number up there. So David Moore says if anybody has any reservations about him, he'll be happy to provide references. All right, we have some other strange and bizarre news that has come across our desk this morning, and of course, given my usual bent, I was happy to pick them up and bring them out here. In Baltimore, children attending a city-sponsored Christmas party received keychains featuring topless women. About 20 of the naughty stocking stuffers were passed out. The mistake was discovered after one of the kids who didn't get one of the key rings asked Santa to help him out and get him one. The X-rated Xmas gifts were confiscated and replaced, probably much to the disappointment of the children. If you're looking for something more nice than naughty, the Fort Worth Zoo may have the gift for you. How about Zoo Dew? It's dew from zoo animals. The potent composted droppings from rhinos, orangutans, and gazelles are just right for the gardener on your list. Or maybe you'd like to buy a bag to spread on your boss's desk. Now, that wouldn't be nice at all. Santa would count off for that. But the price is right, from $5.95 to $10.95 a bag. Donna Whites isn't complaining about the smell of her Christmas present. The Kennewick, Washington woman was given an 1,100 square foot house by her children. The house was all wrapped up in a red ribbon and given to Whites, who says it's just like being in a movie. Well, doing this show all by myself is just like being in a movie. Always wanted to have my own TV show, but always sort of thought I'd have dancing and singing and maybe some comedy sketches. But at any rate, we'll have to do with this newscast. But we're going to have our regular show back Monday. Tomorrow, First Baptist Church of Waco will have a service for you. And we'll see you later. Hope to have a Merry Christmas.